She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now come on now.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to another episode of Never Date Just One, sis. It is your host, Arthur China T, Coach Erica, and we're here to learn how to roster date if it's the last thing that we do. Thank y'all for tuning in. The numbers are continuing to grow. Shout out to all my subscribers. Woo, 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 woo. I love y'all. And the views are going up, so we were definitely looking for the increase as we move into a new era of how this dating will go. If this is your first time here, make sure you start from videos 1 through 41. We are now on episode 42. Make sure if you have any topics that you would like me to touch on and how to apply it to roster dating, also leave those in the comments. I read every comment. I respond to every comment. I even get rid of the negative comments, because what I will not do is go back and forth with somebody who's upset because I'm finally teaching y'all how to do this the right way. We get a lot of those little comments. Y'all don't see them too quick because I've been a whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm not sure. I'm not the people who get too famous to read all the comments. I read every comment that's left. I dissect it, I delete it, and then I mute your account so that you're never able to comment again. But thank you for watching though, because you can still continue to watch. Now, remember, next week, no full videos. It'll just be short videos. I've already started the recording and dropping of those. I got a story that y'all gonna have to hear next Tuesday so y'all can understand why you cannot put all your eggs in one basket, because again, I told y'all love bombing looks exactly like somebody who's really likes you and feeling you. They do not, there is no difference. They mirror. You just have to determine if you're being love bombed or if this person is really trying to go somewhere with you, okay? So stay tuned for that story next week. Very profound. Today, we're gonna get into something that I touch on in Never Date Just One, sis. Before I go any further, let me ask, what's your love language, sis? I know y'all done heard me say that 1,000 times. I don't know if y'all went and looked it up, exactly what I'm talking about. If you have your copy of 31 Days of Internal Satisfaction, there is a love language quiz in here. That quiz is on day 17. I told y'all I need to learn what y'all love language is. There are 5 different love languages. I'm gonna go through those 5 different love languages today. Even though you might identify with something in each love language, you still have to find the one that speaks to your heart, speaks to who you are, the very essence of you. And I told you my love language is acts of service. I like when men make my life easier by doing things for me. It could be something as small as taking out that trash, something as big as paying the bills, planning a vacation, doing the research to see what vegan restaurants I eat at instead of asking me where I would like to go. Those are all speaking to my love language. I told y'all that was one way that my husband got me when I first met him, was he spoke to my love language and continued to do that, because he made life easier in a lot of different places where I didn't have issues, but having somebody who does that for you without you asking is a big help. Okay, so shout out to my ex-husband. You know, even though sometimes we're not on the same page, at the end of the day, he spoke to my love language 1000%, was the only man that I had ever connected with that spoke to my love language and made life a heck of a lot easy, as opposed to just throwing his money around like a few of the examples I had in the past that I would never go back to again. Those experiments, that's what the word X come from, examples and experiments. Those experiments like to throw their money around. They had no clue on how to speak to my love language, probably because I didn't even really know what my love language was at that time. But by the time I met my husband, ex-husband, I knew exactly what my love language is. I did not have to tell him about it. A man's man, that's what I call him. He's a man's man. He was able to pick up on that. He was able to speak to me through that, and that's how we was able to get to where we got to. So what is your love language, sis? Let's talk about those 5 love languages. The 5 love languages is a framework that was developed by Dr. Gary Chapman. Did you know where that came from? Dr. Gary Chapman decided to describe the ways that people like to express and receive love. That's why I said out of all the 5 love languages, you may identify with all 5 of them, because we all do. But there was one love language that is top tier over all of them that'll make you feel loved and appreciated and valued. And you need to know this so that you can apply this to your roster dating, so that you can then verbalize and help your suitors learn how to love you in a way that you want to be loved, so that you can identify and connect with the energy that is right for you, that is attracted to you, that is going to love you the way that you deserve to be loved. Let's not, before I move into these love languages, let's not confuse these love languages with your needs, because your needs are still first and foremost. So it doesn't matter if somebody's speaking to your love language or not. If your needs are still going unmet, then you will not feel valued and appreciated. So you need to, again, align your standards with your needs and now your love language. And you need to learn how to verbalize all of them to your suitors on your rosters, so that they know how to step and come correct when it's time for them to appease to you, so that your energies are matching. And you also want to ask those men, what are their love languages? Tap into their site, because that's something that the typical woman won't ask. But the game changer is definitely going to want to know what the love language of the men that she's entertaining on her roster. Each language represents a primary way people feel most loved and appreciated. So here we go. The first one is words of affirmation. Okay, y'all know the I love yous, I miss you, you're doing a good job, oh my God, I love that. These are words of affirmation. These are words that you are affirming what somebody has done or somebody has said that makes you feel a way, a googly side inside way, okay? That's expressing love through spoken or written words that affirm, encourage, or appreciate. A lot of us want to be appreciated. A lot of us want to be encouraged. You want to be able to learn how to do that for your suitors. If he says his love language is words of affirmation, you need to be able to tell him words that's going to make him feel like he's doing a great job, that you notice everything that he's doing. Words of affirmation does not have you pointing out the negatives. That's not what this is. Remember, you're encouraging. So when you're encouraging, you're not tearing down. So you can't talk about what they could have done better, because if they would have done it better, then we wouldn't even be here. Not on this channel. But we're not doing that. We don't point out any negatives with that. Affirming, that's what it words affirmation, affirmation, affirm, and affirming him and what he's doing to you, you're going to give him encouraging words to keep him doing those things. Here's an example. Saying I love you expresses gratitude and sending heartfelt texts or letters. Y'all know how back in grade school and high school, we used to write letters to our crushes and the guys we was with. They was so filled with love. We didn't even know that we was tapping into a words of affirmation love language by sending those cute little letters. And they would come back to us and they was like, do you like me? Yes or no? We didn't even realize that those small things would make such a big impact in our childhood, and they did. For someone who values this, verbal validation and emotional encouragement are key to making them feel loved, okay? So if you feel like you need to hear it, maybe not necessarily feel it, but if you need to hear it, and then you can start looking for the actions that match it, then you are a words of affirmation woman. Now, acts of service. That's your coach. I'm an acts of service before I'm anything else. I am an acts of service love language, okay? This is showing love through helpful actions or acts of care that make the recipient's life easier. I told y'all, anything that makes life easier for me, I am tuned in. You got my full attention, because you are doing things that I probably don't want to do right now, or I'm just not in the mood, or maybe I financially can't do it, or maybe I just don't know the people to get it done. But if you come in and you got those resources, honey, you are speaking to my love language, okay? Here's an example. Doing chores. My ex-husband, he would clean without even being asked to clean. I was a clean person too. He was 3 times the version of my clean. So, you know, where I did my things around the house that a wife would do, everything else he did because he had a standard for clean. So that was awesome. Cooking meals. I got up to 189 pounds when I was with that man, because that man was a cooker. He is a great cook at that. When I still ate meat and dairy, oh my God, he filled me up. Like one time I remember calling him, and I don't mean to go back, but one time I remember texting him when I went to the doctor, and I had said that the scale said I went down a few pounds because I had been having a little bit of stress. So when I texted him, his response back was a picture of food and said, come eat. It was the cutest little thing ever, and I went right over there to eat, okay? Running errands or fixing something for me. Oh my God, he is a hands-on man. He had a renovations business. So a lot of things that I would go to him for him to fix, loved it. He was a man's man, so I knew that he can speak to other men. So if I had issues, like I had one time at American Freight, when it came to some furniture, seemed like they wasn't listening to me when I was trying to tell them that this thing came broken, and as it was, I waited till he came into town. I took him right on over there at American Freight. I did not speak. I did not do anything. I let him go in there and be a man. He talked to other men. We walked out with a new, it was a table. Yeah. Because I wasn't going to keep arguing with them. I'm going to let a man go handle that, and that's what he went and did. So for someone who values this, actions speak louder than words, okay? And follow through on commitments is essential. I told y'all I'll be listening with my eyes and my ears. I can hear him or hear somebody say, I love you, but if I don't see it, then there's no way that I'm going to run with it. Acts of service, it shows me that you appreciate and you love me. So I make sure that anybody who I add to my roster knows from the beginning that I like acts of service. Plan the trip. Take me out. Do things that's going to make me feel valued and appreciated. And then I can return the love because now I know that this is genuine. The next love language is going to be receiving gifts. This is expressing love through thoughtful presence that show effort and understanding of a person's preferences. So if you like a person that likes to receive gifts, it's an act of service for me. But if you're a person that likes to receive gifts, then you're going to always feel love. Though you are the type of woman that likes to be given nice jewelry, taking on nice trips, that's a gift. Bought a new outfit or bought some new shoes or anything like that. Even if you're something as small as, if you, like for instance, like for me, when I smoked marijuana, a gift to me was you buy me an eighth of marijuana or a 7 of marijuana. That's a gift to me. Why? Because I'm a smoker. And what does that do? In turn, make my life easier because now I don't have to spend my money on it. Acts of service. It all ties together, okay? Here's an example. Giving a meaningful token, surprising them with their favorite item, or remembering special occasion with gifts. The Mother's Days, the birthdays, the just because days, receiving flowers and things of that nature. If you're receiving gifts type of woman, you're going to connect with this. For someone who values this, it's not about the monetary value. I need y'all to understand. It's not about how much it costs. It's about the thought behind it, that the person took the time to know, to remember what you said you liked, and then stepped out further and went and purchased it for you. That thing could be $13. But if you had walked by something in Walmart, like a scarf, and you said, oh my God, this would be so cute. And then 3 days later, he presents a present to you and it's a scarf that you said was cute, you're going to definitely feel appreciated and loved because you're not going to even think that he remembered what you said. The next one is quality time. The quality time part is what get a lot of y'all, because when these men start giving y'all that time in love bombing, you think it's genuinely something that speaks to your love language. It's not easy to pick up on quality time. I'm not a quality time person. I don't have to see the person every day. I don't have to speak to them every day because I know that they're there. That is not what we're here for, okay? This is showing love by giving undivided attention and spending meaningful moments together. This is something that I was not able to speak to with my ex-husband, and I can admit that. It was a lot of time he wanted quality time, but see, I'm not a quality time person. So when he wanted to curl up on the couch and watch a movie and spend time, I wanted to be on my computer getting things done. I wanted to be somewhere else doing some crafts. I did not speak to that part of him, and I know I didn't. Examples, going on dates. Now, I am a stickler for dates, okay? So I need men that understand that I like to go on dates once or twice a week. Having deep conversations, sharing hobbies, or simply being present without distractions. Could not speak to my ex-husband's love language. I always was distracted with my phone. Sometimes I wasn't listening to him when he was talking. The deep conversations, I would tune out. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. This will happen when somebody isn't speaking to your love language. If you need quality time and you want to get into a deep conversation, and the person you're trying to get into it, they always got their phone in their hand, or they're not listening to you, or you got to repeat what you said, they're not speaking to your love language. If you're doing those things, you're not speaking to the love language of that man. That's why it's important for y'all to know what is your love language of your suitors, so you know exactly what you can and cannot do. Because I asked people from the beginning, what's your love language? If they say quality time, I tell them from the beginning, I cannot speak to that. And I know I can't. Will it change over time? I don't know. But if you tell me from the beginning that your love language is quality time, I am a woman that's honest to say I cannot speak to that. Not where I'm at in my life right now, but maybe over time. And then there's physical touch. This is expressing love through physical contact to create closeness and intimacy. You will get a lot of your suitors that'll say, but my love language is physical touch. In essence, what they're saying is they want sex. I move around that. Now, I can give you the hugs. I can give you the kisses. Okay? But if if the only way that this man can feel love is through sex, then he has to miss me with that. Because especially if I'm not there mentally and I am not there emotionally, he is always going to feel unliked and loved. I'm not going to meet that need. That's why I asked from the beginning. Because you will learn that some men base everything on sex. And if they don't receive a lot of sex from you, they don't feel like they're liked. Where I cannot accompany that type of love language, because I'm not just going to be pouring sex on you like that. Like, that's just not who I am. I've never had to do that in the past. I'm probably not going to start today. Examples is hugs, holding hands, cuddling, kisses, or other forms of affectionate touch. I can do the hugs. I can do some of the kissing and all that stuff. I cannot do the sex on demand. You have to determine if that's your love language. You have to also know the love language of your suitor. Can you meet that if that is the love language of your suitor? And if you ask them and they say physical touch, tell them to break that down so that you can put a definition behind that. Because if their definition includes, well, I want sex every night and every day and all that stuff, and you know you're not that woman, you're not going to be able to speak to that. Move that person a little further down your roster, because that's a love language that you're not going to speak to, and therefore he is going to eventually feel like you don't like him. He's going to drop off on his own. Now, understanding your own love language and that of others help improve relationships by ensuring that love is communicated in ways that is meaningful to the recipient. If you want somebody to love you through your love language, know how to verbalize it. Know which one you identify with the most. Don't say, well, I got a little part of all of them in me. Find the one that you identify with the most. That's why there is a quiz in this book of the love language so that you can determine which one stands out the most. Applying these love languages to roster dating can help you identify what you need from your potential partners and how to evaluate if they're meeting your emotional needs. Again, we're trying to connect with the best man for you. So in understanding your own love language and knowing how to verbalize it, you now can determine if this man is going to be able to meet your emotional needs. Words of affirmation. In order for this need to be met, you want to pay attention to how each person communicates. Do they compliment you? Do they uplift you? And do they express genuine admiration? Are they just wild to be in your presence? Are they always giving you compliments? These are things that a words of affirmation person are looking for to feel secured, valued, worthy, and loved by the other person. You're going to evaluate their consistency. Are they being consistent with this behavior? Is it only during a time when they want to have sex with you or whatever the case is, or is it on a consistent basis? Are they thoughtful in their words, or do they just say whatever they think you want to hear? It's a very huge difference in that. Because again, you want people that have genuine connections and feelings for you. You want their words to be thoughtful, but you don't want them to be telling you things that you want to hear. Well, yeah, babe, next weekend I planned a trip for us to go to the Bahamas. You get excited. You can't wait. And then you end up having sex with him. And then when that weekend comes, a trip to Bahamas never even happened. It was never even planned. They just told you what they thought you wanted to hear to get whatever results that they was looking for. Be mindful of that. If you value words of affirmation, prioritize people who regularly express affirmation for your qualities and achievements. Again, if that is your love language, these people that are genuine in their words of affirmation should stay at the top of your roster, because they're going to consistently speak to you through your love language. And you should be able to document that on your roster. In your roster, we're going to look at a couple of different things. It's going to be conversation skills, generosity, romantic gesture, the treatment towards you, okay? Texting timeliness, okay? Those are the things that you're going to look at when it comes to knowing if the words of affirmation are being fulfilled. And again, you're going to rate this 1 through 10 and give those ratings. Some may start low and they should be gradually increasing. If they start high and they start decreasing, that is a sign of love bombing. Next, acts of service. You want to observe how each partner contributes to your life, as I do. Do they make an effort to ease your burdens or provide support when needed? That's very important for me. Test the compatibility by seeing if they follow through on their promises or small acts of care, like running errands or helping you solve a problem. Very important to me. So I'm always looking at those type of things. If you're an acts of service type of woman, you should start gauging that as well. On your roster, it's going to come with treatment towards you. It's going to come with generosity level. It's going to even be adventure willingness. Again, if they start strong and then start falling down, you're being love bombed. If they start low and then gradually increase, you may be having a genuine connection there. The next one is receiving gifts. Note how thoughtful each partner is with their gifts, big or small. Do they remember important dates or surprise you with meaningful gestures? Do they remember your birthday? Do they remember the first day that y'all met? These are things that you're going to be looking for when you talk about receiving gifts, because you're going to be expecting to be showered with the gifts on Mother's Day, on Christmas, on Valentine's Day, especially Valentine's Day. If you are receiving gifts type of woman, you're looking for all of those love holidays to receive loves and gifts. If you mention loving flowers and one partner consistently brings you some, they might rank higher in that meeting on your love language, okay? If you mention loving flowers and one partner consistently brings you some or orders you some or whatever the case is, they might rank higher on your roster. Again, that's going to be generosity level. That's going to be romantic gesture level. That's going to be treatment towards me. Next is quality time. You want to evaluate the quality of your interactions. Does it feel like they're going somewhere, or is it just at a stalemate? Does a person prioritize uninterrupted time with you and create memorable experiences? Observe their ability to make you feel valued during your time together. Are they fully present or are they distracted? I told y'all about the man who y'all will be on a date and he'll have a cell phone either looking at it or he'll have it face down. Things that you need to be looking for, because you need to try to determine if this man is genuinely fact. You need to determine if this man genuinely has a connection with you or if he's just doing this because maybe he's bored. Again, document that on your roster. That's going to be adventure willingness, because that's quality time, treatment towards you, as well as the romantic gesture. You're also going to be looking at the humor compatibility, because while y'all are together and spending time, is this person humorous? Do they like to make you smile and laugh? Something that you need to think about. And the last one being physical touch. Consider how each partner communicates affection through physical touch. Do they respect your boundaries while also making you feel desired? You stated your boundary is that you don't want to have any more sex until you know that there's a genuine connection. Is this person respecting your boundaries? Reflect on how comfortable and connected you feel with their physical gestures, from holding hands to more intimate moments. When y'all are walking along the street, does he hold your hand and stand on the outside to protect you from the cars? While y'all are sleeping in the bed, does he sleep on the outside closer to the door and put you on the inside to protect you? All of this is a part of the physical. Does he hug you and kiss you whenever? Does he come in the house and slap you on the butt? These are things that you want to have in a physical touch. If that's your love language, you're going to be looking for those things like that, okay? If one person is highly affectionate and attentive to your cues, they might align with your physical touch needs, but they have to be in touch with their affectionate side. And love bombing can mean that they could be doing all of that and still just trying to get whatever you're trying to give them. And once they get it, they can back away. Know the difference. Because a person who doesn't like you will not speak to your love language, or they will love bomb you with your love language because you've told them too much, and now they know how to use it as a tool against you. So there's always two sides to these love languages. Now, here are some tips on roster dating with your love language. Self-awareness, okay? Understand your primary love language and communicate it clearly to your roster. My primary love language is acts of service. Some men may be like, I don't know if I can speak to that. And that's okay. I'm not mad at them. They may not know how to make a woman's life easier because they've never seen a man make their mom's life easier. They don't know how to emulate what they've never seen. So I can't expect much from him. But guess what? I don't kick him off the roster. He's just not as important as the other people who do know how to do it. Evaluate compatibility. Observe how each partner naturally expresses their love. Don't try to force someone to fit into a love language that isn't authentic to them. Like, don't try to make somebody fit into your mold of physical touch because you like it when that doesn't matter to them. Again, that's why you need to be asking them from the beginning, what is your love language? And if he does not know how to tell you, you want to pull out your 31 days of internal satisfaction and be a game changer and do that quiz with him and say, okay, babe, don't even worry about it. You know what? I got a book that's going to help us determine that right now. Pull out your book and ask him the same questions in the love language quiz. And now you can help him determine what his love language is because you're a game changer. So you're going to introduce him to something he ain't never did before with another woman. Game changer. Balance. You might find different partners excel in different love languages, helping you understand who meets your needs most holistically and organically. Again, my ex-husband spoke to acts of service without me even teaching him how to do that. He would, if my love language was quality time, he would have spoken to that. What he was unable to speak to was receiving gifts. No, acts of service though, because he made life easy. Now, there were times when he did do some gifts, and I thought that were amazing because I did not expect that from him. But in terms of him doing it on a consistent basis, bringing flowers, I did not expect that from him. I don't know if that's something that he's ever saw done to his mom or if he did to his first wife, but it wasn't done to me. So I wasn't going to fit him in that box or gauge him based on that love language. And then experiment. Use dating as a way to test how you feel when someone fulfills or neglects a specific love language. So if your love language, again, is quality time, and there's only one suitor out of all your roster that gives you quality time, you may need to be determining where you're going with the other guys, because if that's your love language, that person is going to always stand out. If the others are just going with the flow, maybe they're giving you some physical touch and hugs, maybe they giving you some gifts, but if those things don't make you feel loved and you like the quality time and you got a bunch of men that act like they don't have no time for you, you see where we're going with this? Verbalizing your love language to suitors and roster dating without involving sex requires clarity, confidence, and boundaries. Make sure it's known that just because they are speaking to your love language does not mean that their gift is going to be sex, especially if you're not ready to go to that level. But if he needs sex to continue to treat you like a queen, then we need to get rid of him because he's not respecting your boundaries. Emotionally, you need an emotional connection. That's why I tell y'all to make people understand from the beginning. You tell them you're a demisexual. That means you need a strong emotional connection before you can even exert any sexual energy in this. Understand that. Because some men would be like, what that mean? They know homosexual, hobosexual, whatever sexual. They've never heard of demisexual. Game changer. You about to teach him that in order for you to be able to get to that point where you want to be able to share that the intimacy with him and consummate this union, you need him to speak. You are a demisexual. You need him to have a strong emotional connection with him before you can get there. And how to do that? You need to train him about your love language. Your strong emotional connection is fueled through your love language. You want to bring it up casually, but intentionally, okay? During conversation, introduce your love language as a fun topic. Like I told y'all to say, have you heard of the 5 love languages? Mine is, what's yours? And if he's never heard of that, pull out your 31 days of internal satisfaction, be the game changer, let him do the quiz so that before that date ends, you know exactly what his love language is, and he now knows yours because you've told him. Set the expectations early. This is your standards that I told y'all about. Let suitors know what makes you feel appreciated. I value meaningful time with someone. It's how I feel closest to people. Say that. I value somebody making my life easier by running errands for me or doing things for me. It makes me feel appreciated. I say it all the time. Those who don't like it, drop off. Frame it as a challenge or opportunity. Position fulfilling your love language as a way for them to stand out from the roster. Again, you don't need them to think that if they do this, the present or the gift is going to be sex. However, if you keep making me feel so loved by sending me these random flowers on a random day, I don't know, sir. I think you're trying to swoon my panties off. You gave him hope. That's all you did was give him hope. You didn't say that was going to happen. You gave him a little bit of hope. Set clear boundaries around physical intimacy. From the beginning, the boundary and the standard needs to be set. Nobody should go against it, not even you. If physical touch is your love language, clarify that intimacy does not equate to sex. Tell them you cannot be intimate with them just by having sex with them. Because he can have sex with you and get up and leave right afterwards. Get up and go smoke a cigarette right afterwards. Get up and go smoke a blunt right afterwards. There's nothing intimate about that. Because now you're trying to figure out, did he really enjoy this? Or this all he wanted from the beginning? I love affectionate gestures like holding hands or hugs. It's how I feel close. But I take my time with physical relationships. That's the boundary. That's what you set. That's what you verbalize. Reward the effort you receive and not with sex. When someone aligns with your love language, show gratitude to encourage more of that behavior. An example for words of affirmation. Respond positively when they compliment you. They say, oh, baby, that looks so good on you. That hairstyle, I love everything about that. You'll say, that means a lot to me. I genuinely value your words. So whenever I go and get my hair done, all I'm thinking about is Bae gonna like this? Now he feels special because he didn't even know he was Bae. And he didn't even know you value his opinion. Leverage their interests. Use your love language as a way to test consistency and effort. Okay? Suitors who are genuinely interested will rise to the challenge of meeting your emotional needs. Because in order for him to move y'all along in this process, he has to speak to your emotional needs. Fulfilling needs. I'm going back to that. Here's an example for receiving gifts. Share how thoughtful gifts make you feel cared for. It's not about the cost, but the meaning. It shows someone pays attention to what I like. Be confident about what you offer in return. If you cannot speak to their love language once they tell you that, you need to be honest about that. Reinforce what makes you a high-value partner. I'm big on giving compliments and encouragement, so I expect the same energy back. Absolutely. Thou shalt match actions, not energy. So if the energy is not given to you, you're not going to match that energy. You're just going to move around them. But you will match the action. I love spending quality time with someone who values creating memories as much as I do. If quality time is your love language, you're going to be taking note of how this person spends time with you and what y'all are doing and spending that time. If they're always trying to get out of spending time with you, but they are readily available when it's time to have sex with you, remember that one email from the lady that says when it was time for them to go on a date, his car wasn't working, but when it was time for him to come to her house for dinner, his car magically worked. Pay attention to that, because he didn't speak to her love language at all. He didn't even take her on a date, yet she still felt inclined to have sex with him and then felt bad afterwards. We don't want to have any more of that. Use your love language to weed out low effort suitors. My love language is acts of service. So if I got a man that don't like to go on dates, he's not making life easier for me. If I got a man that don't want to go on vacations, he's not making life easier for me. I have to put him down at the bottom of the roster because I don't see us going anywhere. If that's my love language, he's not speaking to it. Why would I allow him the same effort and energy that I'm giving to others and he's not doing what they're doing? Not going to happen. You need to do the same thing. This is about fulfilling your needs, especially your emotional needs. If that is not being done, I don't know how these people are even able to move off the roster into something called a girlfriend-boyfriend situation when they have not put any effort in or showed you anything different from the last 800 men that you've already been with. By verbalizing your love language in a clear, non-negotiable. We are not compromising our love language. There are some things we will compromise. Our love language is not one of those. Why? Because it speaks to your emotional needs. Do not compromise your needs for anyone. You can compromise some actions. We're not compromising our needs. You empower yourself to attract suitors who genuinely care about meeting your needs without relying on sex to maintain their interest. because if the end all game for them is sex, so they're doing this, that's love bombing. They're just trying to get to the prize a lot faster. Pay attention to that, because this man is going to always try to be pushing you towards sex, even though you have already stated a boundary that you are a demisexual, and unless you have a strong emotional connection, you cannot be sexually intertwined with him. If he does not believe you and keep trying you, move him down to the roster or get rid of him. That's not where you need to spend your time. Do not be persuaded to have sex with somebody who may not even call you tomorrow, or may call you tomorrow to have more sex with you, but still don't take you on dates, don't buy you gifts, don't do anything for you, but just show up when it's time to have sex. Love languages are paramount with your roster. You'll be able to get your love languages fulfilled if you pay attention to the efforts of everybody that you're allowing on your roster. The moment that somebody is not meeting your love language and your emotional needs, you drop them from the roster, you drop them down further under everybody, or you cut them off and put them in a friend zone. Because friends don't have to fulfill your emotional needs, but the men that you're dating should. So learn your love language. Get your copy of 31 Days to Internal Satisfaction so that you're able to take your love language quiz, so that you're able to verbalize what your love language is and become a game changer. When you on a date with these men, you can bring them up. It'll be something I bring up on the first date. I'll be over there like, well, what's your love language, John? John be like, oh, I don't even know what that is. Oh, John, you don't even know what you're missing. How have you been loving people throughout life and they didn't even love you back in the same way? That's something a game changer will say. Don't worry about it, John. I got you. I got this book that got a test in it, John. All right. I'm going to ask you some questions, and then I'm going to document the answer. And the more answers that you choose, that's how we're going to determine your love language. John thinks it's a challenge. Okay, bet, I'm ready to go. Game changer. Got him. All right. This is the last video for the week. Next week, y'all know y'all not getting any full videos, but y'all will be getting some short videos with some messages, so stay tuned. I look forward to coming back to you all and continuing this process. Make sure that you review videos 1 through 41, including this today, so that when I get back, that we're all on the same page. Because I would love to move it along in this roster and what needs to happen on dates 3 and 4 and 5, and when we're 6 months in and 9 months in, but we can't get there until the first part of this has been done. I'll see y'all in a week. Never date just one, sis. It's always raining men everywhere you go.